Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Where were you? But it's time for the second part of the doubleheader of the Weekend Warriors here on the Super Sunday on Apex Racing TV. Now time for the Spec Racer Fords here at the iconic circuit de Spa-Francorchamps and the rolling hills of Belgium. It's a massive circuit, but it brings massive action. I am Tim Cox. We've got Josh Wilkie in the virtual production jailer. Charles Bashal is going to join me shortly. But for now, let's have a little look at the championship standings coming into the 5th round of the season. We're nearly at the halfway stage. Where has the time gone? And I can tell you, Spec 1, it's Marco Pinheiro leading the way. Whew. Well, that's no surprise, really. I mean, dominant once again this season with 3 wins from the opening 4 rounds. It's only Yang Lin who has broken that clean sweep for him. That was back at Phillip Island in round 2. Jason Green in second. It's been Mr. Consistent, really, in and around the podiums all season long, with Yang Lin in third. Didi Castro, well, looking well, could have drifted this early stage. Look at that, 104 points behind our leader, Pinheiro. Brazilian lies in 4th, then it's Wood. Overstreet, Renders, Jacobson, Walker, who was flying well in qualifying and in practice. Watch out for him today, the Canadian, and Andrea Favini running out your top 10. Let's hop across into Spec 2 now. And it's Ian Gibson with that win last time out at Sandown, which sees him top the table. Josh Justice, Mr. Consistent, who's been quietly about his business, but chipping away with a win and 2 second places and a 3rd. In fact, he's finishing on podium every single round so far this season. That consistency has got him into 2nd. Paul Jackson's 3rd, then it's Faglini 4th, Berry 5th, and then a big gap between himself and Zarkowski in 6th, with Batley, Simpkins, Clement and Knutson rounding out your top 10, but incredibly close scores between those lots. Across into Masters now. It's Tom Gradwell that leads the way. Again, a driver who's just been there or thereabouts all season. But not really into the podium places, but that consistency has just been outside. It's what sees him on top. Yugbani, who wasn't here last week, means that's why he's lost the lead by 2 points. Kurt Nunes is only 3 points behind in 3rd on 215, and then 14 points behind is Brad Cathcart, who finished 3rd last time out to make his 2nd podium finish of the season. Both coming at home tracks for him. A little bit further afield Not sure how we're getting on today. Stephen Mitchell is 5th. There's Brewster 6th. Login, Race, Fritcher and Bradshaw running out your top 10 there. Let's get stuck into today's proceedings. Charles. Whew, deep breath, because I get the feeling this is going to be... It's going to be a long one. Not just in track length, but... I think we're going to have a lot happen to here today because we have got a big grid. Well, I say the big grids are back. They never really went away, but the mammoth, super-sized grids are back.
Yeah, 58 cars out setting times as we see carnage in Blanchimont as an open qualifying session goes. And yeah, it's a big track. Obviously, we talked about it earlier. In the Formula Ford race, Laguna Seca, iconic track in the Americas. And now we're at Spa, one of the big ones, right? This is one of the tracks that everybody wants to race. Everything from F1 down, just fantastic racing here. And you never really know what's going to happen. We talked about it a little bit before the broadcast, and I said, essentially it's flip a coin. We're either going to have a massive battle, draft battle all around this track for 40 minutes, or we're going to lose half the field through Eau Rouge and Raidillon on lap 1. And this just the kind of, the throw of the dice at this point.
Oh, it is indeed. There's no two ways about it, is there? Let's be honest. But De Castro leads the way. Look at that, 241. Exactly. No missing from the Brazilian. James Walker second. I told it's you, who's running well. Cat Dantas. Redman, a new name to the series. Good to have Chris Redman. I'll say new. He's a relatively new name. But Marco Pinero down in 6th. Lynn 7th. Marnie 9th. But he's top of the Masters qualifiers. He was Gustavo Ariel of Rennsport fame.
Yeah.
And ESLR1 at 19th. Still a lot of qualifying left to go, though, isn't there? Well, no, there's not, is there? That's really not. Wow.
Yeah, maybe 2 laps left. This one, and maybe if you get back to the start-finish line, you'll get another. But, where Gustavo is on the track, obviously a fantastic racer. He's a pro licensed driver in iRacing. He's, 10.9K or something ungodly. But he's not a regular here on the series. So, it takes a little time to get back into the groove with these spec racers. And, the more you drive it, the more proficient you are. And he's came in for a couple races, and we love having him here because obviously he's a tremendous talent. But I'm sure that when the end of this is done, he'll probably be up near the front. Just because that's how good he is.
Oh, yes, that's for sure. But old Rennsport just tried quite differently from this. Oh, Castro, who was turning around, just making a mistake there. So not looking like Dudu's going to improve or whatsoever. Did I see an improvement from Green? Not too sure. They've got so many drivers to try and keep on top of here. Who's well out of place? Chris Murakami in 49th.
That's low.
Yeah, incredibly low for him. Who else have we got? Ian Gibson, winner in Spec 2 last time out. He's down in 39th. Kurt Nunes down in 40th. Oh, Tom Gradwell, 29th. Disappointing for him. Christian Cabanca, who could have, sticking on the podium in the Formula Fords earlier on. He is all the way down in 35th, Charles.
Yeah,
Overstreet 25th.
Yeah, Overstreet 25th. Weiger right there in 24th.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. P3. Yeah, just kind of the cream rising to the top there. I mean, like I said, he's a fantastic driver. So he'll be in contention for the race. But it'll be interesting to see what our regulars can do versus Ariel.
Yes, versus people driving Pesk
exactly.
and such like, and all that other good stuff, and Furia and the SL11 and such like. Another one out of position, I would say, was Yatabino down in 14th. However, and this is a big however to caveat, if you look at the names that are in front of him, Martin just going to 12th there. Another new name in the 54 Machine. from Spec 1. But yeah, I mean, if you look at all the names, he's, you know, on a much small, you know, if half of them weren't here, then he would be right up there. It's just a who's who, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. Yeah, I mean, you know, you look. Yeah, you put him if he's P2, and any of those drivers in front of him are P1. You say, okay, I can kind of see that. So, so now you've got 14 of them in front of him, and they're all amazing racing drivers, and they're here week in and week out running this car. So you know, it's just going to be one of those. I don't want to use the term war of attrition because it's obviously we want all these cars to race cleanly and survive and make it to the end. But it's just going to be one of those. It's going to be a very tactical race, I think.
Good news, Charles. We've made it to 59 drivers. Our poor producer, Jonathan, he came into the session and just looked at the size of the grid. We had been pre-warning him that it's been a little bit light of late, and yes, he's going to do his best. But it's only one pair of hands. Dominic Hammander, who ran well in the Formula Fields earlier on, looking at 32nd for him. Disappointing. Let's play for just moving up to 7th there. Ooh, wow. I mean, it's just so complex and so stacked. This I sort of think, oh, you know what? I look at who's in front of them. And I think, yeah, well, okay. Do you know what? Time-wise, it's marginal difference, and actually, it's no shame, really. You know, they're the sort of people they're competing with anyway on a regular basis, and it's just because of the size of this grid. It's fascinating.
It is indeed. Yeah, I mean, the top 13 cars are within a second of each other. 2 seconds down gets you all the way down to P31. Basically, if you're within a second and a half or so, you're going to be in draft range for the car in front, and then that gap collapses quickly. These cars are fantastic to draft, and will make up quite a bit of more ground than you would expect on a straightaway. So that's kind of what I'm looking for today. Is you'll see lots and lots of draft battles. 3 wide up straight up Kimmel. So yeah, 2 wide if they can through Blanchimont, and so it's going to be an amazing show.
That it is indeed. Now we're going to see whereabouts if they've got the full pace lap or the shorter one. If it's the shorter one, we're in a bit of trouble here. So let's rattle through them. It's Duda Castro on par with Walker on the front row with him. Ariel and Dantas, an all Brazilian second row. Yeah, that's on the back of the circuit. Here we go for the speed reading. Chris Redmond, the Brit, has Jason Groove Company on row 3. Row 4 is Plaver and Panero. Row 5, top 10. Jiangji Lin and Andrea Favini. Yogmani, top qualifier in Masters, starts 11th next to Alan McCain. Another newcomer. Great to have so many newcomers. Starts next to Dominic Hammander. What's going to be his home race of the season? Keller Pocock has got, what's there going to be another home race of the season? We don't actually have a race in Switzerland. It's currently Gardini. Then on to row 17. No, 18. Maurice Threeson and Christian Kabanka. Row 19 is Jeff Jacobson and Ian Gibson, the winner last time out from Spec 2. Then Kevin Adrian and Chris Thorpe make up row 20 and top 40. Kurt Nunes is Paul Jackson for company on 21. 22 is Stephen Healy and Josh Justice. John Young is next to Jeff Cantor on row 23. Row 24 is Mike Newton and Hugh Simpkins. Row 25. And your top 50, your top 50, look at that sight. That is a sight to behold, looking backwards. It's Stephen Mitchell and Chris Murakami. Disappointed for the American there. Bob Kern and Gary Warbolt, another All-American row. On row, I lost count. Fabio Scarli and Daniel Salmon. Salmon not being the first drivers not to set a time. Gianni Longins next to Jeff Horniak. Michelle Baglini and Chris Montgomery with car 59. Or 53, he's starting from 59. It's Jason Potter. He hasn't taken the grid. Neither's Montgomery and neither has Fritcher. So, actual starters, unless those 3 elect to start from the pits, Fritcher actually, missed the start. So, dropped 37 places already. 37 places. 56 out on the track, but they've got a short run. Well, let's get ready to go racing, folks, from Spa, as we are green and we are go, and that was coordinated from the Mexico by TK drivers there. Castro and Ariel say, see you later, guys, we're off. And out into first and second they go. Dantas just making up a place. Well, top three, all Brazilians here today from Spa. They're all going to make it through La Source, normally the source of all problems when it comes to this track. And everyone playing it quite sensibly in these early stages. Drivers making progress though. Ian Gibson up 3, Chris Murakami up 5 already as we head up the hill for the first time. And this is where the slipstream kicks in. Already 8 tenths of a second. Our top 2 have gone away, but they go side by side. There's no pushing crew malarkey going on here. But Ariel just in front of Castro, who tips back in and then begins the push down the Kemmel Straight for the first time this evening towards Leku, but they're 3 wide behind him as they try to squeeze their way through. Who's going to swoop down from the outside? That normally what works, and it does this time for Dantas. Just picking up some places as everyone else still 3 wide, still coming through this. People only just getting onto the Kemmel Straight. That's how far back this field stretches here today. There's a spinner there. That's Paul Jackson around. It's down into Bruxelles. Into Speaker's Corner, and I think that's not a bad start, Charles.
I was looking down the grid as you were calling the action, and the only car I saw was Matthew Viger, who is dropped all the way down to 56th. So he may be the only one there. We did see the little spin by Jackson coming out of Lacombe. You can't really ask for a better start than that. And it's like the field stacked, stretched out half a lap already.
Disappointed from Dantas. I mean, he was up there in third, but then you just get offline around here and just everyone mugs you. I mean, look at that. Just one long, continuous line, Charles. To get a gap of more than a second, you have to go from first all the way down to 39th. That's Chris Thorpe.
That's crazy.
There he is.
Yep, there we go. There's your little gap there. And obviously, if he's just going to stay there, he should be able to draft and close that gap back up, and that'll tighten the field up even further.
This needs a push from Stephen Healy, but doesn't want it through this section of the track. As we head through Blanchimont and up front, it's Team Tactics. Flying line astern, swapping around Ariel and Castro, but Walker's making progress there. Sabino just being forced offline, and he's going to lose a place there. Jorg Marni says thank you very much, and it may well be that Martin is going to squeeze this back, but Sabino fights back here down into La Source. McCain just behind him. Those two on the left-hand side of the screen, right-hand side of the track. Martin backs out. Marnie just playing it safe on the outside there, looking into the background, and well, McCain couldn't get the move done, but Sabino is ahead of Marnie. Meanwhile, up front, well, it's all changed here as Castro has lost the place to Walker and nearly loses a place to the flying Brit that is Chris Redmond in that 116 machine that we look at right behind us right now. Through Eau Rouge, through Radion, down the Kemmel Straight. Is it going to be the push? Is it going to be the move? Well, there you go. There's your answer. It's the move. And right now, Castro being hung out to dry as they go 3 wide down the Kemmel Straight. Are they going to make this 4? Are they going to? They're going to give it a go.
Try. Yep.
No, they all chicken out of
it. I will say this though: Castro gained 0.5 of a second, just drafted behind Ariel up the straightaway, up the Kemmel. So I mean, you just kind of see how powerful the draft is going to be, and it's going to be like this all race long. There's going to be people shuffling back. There's going to be people moving forward. There'll be 3 and 4 wide in spots where you don't think they necessarily want to do that. But so far, like I said, it's been clean. Haven't had any real major calamities, and so this might end up turning into a really, really good race to watch.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, Charles, I don't think there's any might about it. I don't think there is any might about it.
Yeah, it's lining up to be one of those classic spec racer, massive grid races where you really don't know who's going to come out on top until the very end.
Highest climate so far goes to, Gardini just dropping a few places further down through the field. On board with Redmond though, that is Castro and Ariel in front of us. So behind, they've got Marco Panero just behind us. He's made up 4 places in these early stages. What does Redmond do? Yes, when you think about it, he lifts out the throttle there. That's maybe telling of what he's trying to achieve in this early stage of the race. Just not quite feeling confident. No, so I can see the tactics going on between the two Brazilians in front of him. But yeah, highest position claimer, that goes to Chris Murakami at 15 places into 35th right now. But Walker says, no, I've had enough of waiting. This is my time. So it's Redmond even, apologies. He's through ahead of Castro. And finally disrupts those top two.
That's probably smart on him. Yeah, that's probably smart on his part. Just don't let those guys work together too much, and you could get between them. And I still think that there's a, you'll see a lot of guys that are content just to fuel save. Obviously Green, we know he'll be probably fuel saving for most of the race. But I'm noticing Monty's dropped back to 14th, which, maybe he's just playing. I think he's been playing it very tentative today, not really wanting to force the issue. And just kind of backing out of situations where he's going to end up, potentially being wrecked.
Well, right now, Dantas being pushed by Lynn as he uses him to try and close up that gap to what's going on in front of them. And it's hard to know where to look. This group in front that are 3 wide, the group behind that are 3 wide, they're going to make it 4 wide. Down the camel straight, and there's a big incident there as Plavers around. As he was tagged, I think it might have been by Dantas, and well, there's a big incident. Green off too. Oh wow, they're losing places and places and places because of it. Bobby West involved, Jason Perry caught up in it too. Oh, there they are, scattered, left discarded by the side of the track.
Yeah, and I see a car coming with no front end. Didn't catch who it was, but yes, and that's the good side, of the draft is, you get to stay in contention. You can move forward because you've always kind of got contact with the cars in front. The bad side is if there's an incident anywhere on the track, it's very difficult to try and navigate through it or around it. And so you end up with multiple cars having contact and having to tow back.
Well, it's all change at the front. Look at that, Pinero, Redmond, Ariel and Castro, your top 4 order. Walker coming along with this pack, getting cut adrift. Atabino and Lynn. We're now in a little pocket of space by themselves after that big incident coming down into Lacoon. Well, they did well to just got lucky to get through that one. Yeah, Sabino, he's up 10 places.
Yeah, he's having a good run. Yeah, he's having a good run so far. I'm guessing he's being pretty aggressive, trying to take those spots. I think part of it's catching these guys out. When we were looking at that wreck earlier, the crash earlier, was. We're gonna Josh is gonna get us a replay so we can see it. I think the draft is so powerful up the straight, especially when you get that many cars together. I think you kind of get a little mesmerized, and you're not realizing what the rate of the difference in your speed is, and so you end up getting called out because you're picking up speed. Ooh, that was not good. That was into the.
That's big about Martin. That's gutting for him because he'd had a great start on his debut. And, well, that's going to be him. He's into the pits. So is Dantas. And, well, Dantas riding sideways there. It all started off with Plaver getting tagged, getting shot across the track, which was the catalyst for all of that. And we've got Plavers into the pits. So is Martin. So is Dantas.
Yeah, they're get a chance. You get that fast repair, so they're coming in and taking that, and we'll get back to the live racing here in a minute. There we go. So yeah, you get the fast repair, get back out on track. 8 minutes in to the race. It's borderline for maybe making it on fuel. I guess if they fuel saved, you could probably stretch it.
I think they can, Charles.
Yeah, it's very possible. So. That might be a good strategy might work out in their favor because obviously there are going to be lots of cars on track, so you should be able to find a drafting partner and keep your speed up.
We've had to wait this long with this many people on track for a big stunt like that. They were trying to make it 4 wide down the Kemmel Straight. It was tight to say the least.
Yeah, it definitely was. I think but maybe that's yep.
Look,
so here we are.
Look who are up onto. They've caught them, Lynn and Tabino, and they've also passed James Walker. Canadians dropped back behind them, so that's really telling. So what was the top 4? is now a top 5 is now a top 7 in fact. So mantle handed to Andrea Fabini, the Swede, leading the peloton, the chasing pack now with Schwartz, Marnie, Renders. Well, it goes all the way back to 21st and Bradshaw in this group. So what you're talking, 12 car pack?
Yeah. And what that pack is hoping for is these guys up front battling side by side. The more they battle amongst themselves, easier it's going to be to have that second pack merge into the first pack. And now you're talking about, 15 cars in the lead draft?
Well, if that whole pack catches up, it's gap's extending though, Charles. That's the worrying thing. It's gone from 2.5 to 3.2 seconds. As there's Lynn going up the inside of Tabino. We could make this. Actually, it might just be the live timing there. So actually, gap's come back down to 2.5. But yeah, I mean, we could have a 21 car fight for the lead.
Exactly right. Which is great for us. We'll enjoy watching it.
Oh, definitely. 11 minutes complete out of the 40 here from Spa-Francorchamps in the SRF Weekend Warriors.
Yeah, I think what we're not realizing is it's over 11 minutes gone. We're on lap 5 because the lap is so long that it's going to catch us quick. Because in the next 3 or 4 laps, most of the cars I'm sorry, 2 or 3 laps, most of the cars will start coming for pit stops. So it'll be another element to this race as we see 2 wide up here in the front. And that's what that second pack is hoping for. They're hoping for this to keep going on. That's just that much easier for them to catch up.
That was a little bit cheeky there for me from Yang Lin. Saw Castro just lifting off like he was doing and went, there's a great big gap there. See ya. I'll into it, doo-doo. Unlucky there, mate. Unlucky. Caught napping the Brazilian. Meanwhile, this is the peloton behind was being led by Favini, who's now dropped back to 11th from 8th. And this has turned into a bit of a street fight here. I think they've resigned the fact, we're not catching that group ahead. Let's just go for it. Alan McCain's taking control. Yogmani behind him. We've got Jason Green, who was spun around. He's into this group. Simon Mayer renders. I mean, it's a bit of a who's who. We've had previous race winners in this group right now.
I heard, yeah, indeed, and I heard a squeal of tires, and I think I saw a race fall to toe. So,
well spotted. Yeah, he's shown up in a log, but he's come off track, come back on, and then he's had a crash. Then he's jumped to the pit, so not looking good for him right now. And here's the replay, and I think this is going to show us exactly how it all panned out for Antonio Race.
So Overstreet behind. Oh,
hardware failure?
No, I think what that was, I think he just maybe missed his braking point. On the corner, the car got loose, and I think he overcorrected and just straight into the wall. It's kind of what it looked like to me.
Well, knowing Antonio, this is quite possible, Charles, that he's like, I've missed it. Quick, dart back across. I don't want to take people out. And it's elected. Jonathan Schwartz into the pits there. Saw him dart out across. I think he's just elected just to bail out of it and kill himself off so it doesn't ruin someone else's race. And that just epitomises the SRF Weekend Warriors.
It does. Yeah, it does. It's a great group of drivers, and they really do their best to keep each other safe on track and just race clean.
Glad you interrupted me there, Charles, because it's stifled my point just enough in time for Chris Murakami to move up another place. That's Jonathan Schwartz heading into the pits. 26, he's up now. 26.
Amazing.
Daniel Salmon up 21. And they're the only ones in the 20s. If you've made it into mid-teens, I don't think you're good enough for this group, which is crazy to think, because if you achieve that in any other race, you'd be like, that you'd had an absolute giga race, but not here. Murakami's just picked up 2. I think something's happened more, so he's up 28 now.
Yeah, I saw that where he passed Thusen and Gradwell down in that. I guess that would be the third group So he's trying to make his way up to the third group of cars. So I'm not sure. I think you could have two pelotons. I'm not sure, but I think that's how that works.
Yeah, I think we've got to, haven't we? It's the only way to
We do.
describe it. It's absolutely fascinating stuff. There is Murakami. So Jacobson and Kabanka is in front of him. Then it's a 6.8 second gap. So I think this is where it's going to come towards a bit more of an end now for Murakami, because that gap is up to that next group, which ends at Adam Bradshaw and starts at Alan McCain in 8th.
Yeah, 7-second gap. So yeah, it's going to be tough to jump that to make up that kind of time. Even in the front of this pack, I mean, you can drag them up a little bit, but when you've got that big pack of cars in front, I mean, their lap times are much quicker than a smaller group. It's kind of the old, the NASCAR drafting, right? Is you want to, the bigger the group, the faster the speeds, because you're just all working together and you're creating that big hole in the air, and so everybody kind of shares the load.
That's the 11 there. Tabar just having a bit of a look at the inside out for Video, and then collected. That was Thomas Redness, and he's around, and I have the feeling he may well be out there. Yeah, that's him gone.
That kind of looks like that was the outside curb, just kind of kick him across the track. Unless I missed a contact somewhere in there, I didn't see it.
No, it was no contact with the wall or anything. Just purely at the curb, just pushing him back across the track, kicking the car, and straight into Renders. Unfortunately, he was trying to perform the switchback. Meanwhile, on board with Overstreet, you can see the bit of the aero wash there, understeering through Radion. But is there going to be a push?
It doesn't look like so. It looks like she has a move. Oh, see a car coming up on the right. Like she has a move to make that move and make that pass. As you can see, she has been doing some pushing because she's got some scrape damage on the front of her car. As we see,
that's Nelson.
That's Nelson.
Just overcooked it. Well, he's managed to recover it, but on the switchback comes Overstreet and reclaims the place that she just lost in the slipstream. I think Tabina's going to neck back up the inside, and Nelson, well, after gaining 2 places, is now net lost a place, because actually Tabar's slopped his way, actually, and so's Hammander. So that really did not work out for Michael Nelson whatsoever.
No, it didn't. And Overstreet's, I think she's looking ahead to Favini. It's a 1.6 second gap that's kind of broken up a little bit, broken that big pack up, and she wants to see if she can close that before they get away. So that, the more closer she can get up to there, the easier it's going to be to work into that, work to the front of that group.
You update with the classes. Marnie leads Masters with Nelson and Bradshaw rounding out the podium there. Spec 2, Ferguson leads. He's 21st. 23rd, Caleb Pocock, second in class. And then Kevin Adrian up 12 places into 27th and third in class. But that's where he started in class, and no positions actually gained in class for him. Meanwhile, all changed, and look who's been just quietly chipping away and working his way to the front of this group. It's Yang Ji Lin, Gustavo Ariel behind him. That's Tabino and Castro rounding out the trio of Brazilians in this group.
Yeah, Lin obviously wants to be as close to Panero as he can, because that is the championship battle. So obviously he wants to be in a position to try and get ahead at the end of the race and gain on the leader.
You get a feeling maybe that they're just, he's someone a bit newer to this championship from Chris Bergman. They're all just using him right now to save fuel.
Yeah, I think you may be right. I think that's exactly what's going on. And, the longer he's here, the more we'll learn about that, as we see Tabar come into the pits.
I mean, I'm surprised by people coming in early. I think the strat today, Charles, is to come in with people or at least one person, bare minimum, as they go 3 wide for the lead down the Kemmel Straight. I talk about it so calmly, you get so excited and stoked in other series, but this is going to happen again and again. And as Lynn shuts the door right in Marco Pinero's face there, but right round the outside comes Gustavo Ariel for the lead, and that could well be an absolutely scintillating move. He pulls this one off, and swoops down through Lacombe.
Well, I think Lynn wants to try and come back on him here in this corner, but he's not going to have the space to do it. Yeah, it was a great move by Lynn to kind of cut that line off to keep Pinero from getting that run into Lacombe. But then Ariel absolutely took advantage of that and said, "I'll have that position, thank you."
We've still got another 20 minutes in this, Charles.
We do.
We're only just done with half of this. Right, that is Jeb Jacobson versus Murakami. Murakami just ahead, and he's going to have the inside line here. And I think that's just going to allow him to hopefully take control of this group. Yes, it is.
Yep.
He's at 32 spots now.
Yep. So he's in the lead of Group 3 as we're kind of going through here. I was trying to look to see if Overstreet had made any progress up. Yeah, it looks like that gap down a bit.
But I think that's where Favini's just fallen out of favour a little bit and dropped off. So I think Favini's going to get absorbed into the Overstreet, Bradshaw, Nelson group.
Right.
Yeah. Meanwhile, up front, Ariel Lynn are swapping places, left, right, and centre. We like to see. So we're on board with Ariel. Where is Lynn? There he is. Oh, look at them all hugging the inside line. Nobody wants to give it up whatsoever as they go 2 wide in the background there. Well, I say the background. It's all over third. Redmond cheeky, just spotting that gap that Lynn was trying to open up the corner there to get the decent runoff. Pinero there, squeezed in, playing the traffic management. And look, that group behind, Charles, you spoke about it, they're only 1.4 seconds behind now. Make that 1.3, make that 1 second, they're within a second. And all this battling, all this infighting has allowed them to caught up. So welcome to the top table. Jason Green, Simon Mayer, Alan McCain, Jorg Marni, and Andrea Favini.
Yeah, this is where it's, this is the whole, the whole deal with draft tracks. Is the more, like I said, the more you battle, the more the cars behind make up that stagger. See, Green should be just at the edge of draft range, I think.
He needs to push.
Yeah, he does need to push for sure, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. He is trying to take the defensive line through up the straight to come into Lacombe.
Well, the more this lot keep going 3 wide down the end of the Kemmel Straight, it's just going to allow them to, well, there you go.
Yep.
You can visually see it to catch up onto this group. Oh, there you go. They're locked in. They're locked on. They're back. They've got the band back together again.
Yep.
As Lynn up the inside of Pinero there.
Yep. So the peloton has chased down the lead pack, and now we have a lead pack of 12 cars who will continue to fight because that's just seems like that's the order of the day. They'll take that draft and make moves. You'll see some defensive lines, and I say that defensive line into the bus stop. It made a lot of sense for Redmond to go to the outside to get the switch back, because if you're on the inside there, it's a very, very tight corner to navigate with some bumps and curbs, and it's so you don't get a lot from shortening the track there.
Group 2, which is Overstreet, Hammander, Bradshaw, and Nelson. They're now officially Group 2 because Group 2's caught up to Group 1. 4.5 seconds, a bit of a tall order. Hammander's going to have to really, engage. It's a bit of a pushing crew down the Kemmel Straight. Anywhere they can physically get away with it if they want to stand the chance of catching that group ahead. She knows how much moves that group behind. What was Group 2 is now into Group 1. Green set the fastest lap of the race last time around of 2:42.23, which is, well, a bit hard to decipher because it depends whether anyone in that top group have been. As Jason Green bails early. Sabino goes, so does Marnie. Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's actually a smart strategy for Monty and for Green behind, because now you have that draft help when you come out on your out lap, and Overstreet in as well.
Nelson too. Who else? Jacobson. So it wasn't. Yes, it was Nelson. Who else have we had come in? Murakami's in. Fernison's in from the lead of Spec 2. Who else? Warbottle, Gradwell are heading in now. In comes Tabar. So we'll head out.
Yeah, so now you've got a couple of 3-car groups, and they're actually filing out along with some actual traffic. So it just makes that a little bit easier to get up to speed and get some of that draft and set some good lap times. As we see Green coming through Eau Rouge and ready on.
What's happened to Redmond? I think he might have
Oh,
come off track or
right
something.
there. That's Monty.
Oh, what's
Was that
Monty
Monty?
spun as
Was that?
well?
I think so. I think I saw 2 cars at Eau
He's
Rouge.
jumped to the pits. He's jumped to the pits, Charles. So quite possibly. So Redmond's descending down like an absolute stone, and he's dropped out of that top group. That's gutting for him. It's now Ariel, Pernero, Lynn, Walker, and Castro left of that top group because they've all sort of dispersed a little bit.
Yeah, they have. Ariel's managed to pull out a little bit of a gap over Panero.
I think it's hammer time, isn't it? You know, if you
I
haven't
think
fuel
so.
saved enough by now, just don't worry about it. You're very close to, you're looking somewhere around 29 to 32 minutes is ideal. I mean, 32 is really pushing that if you fuel saved a lot. So realistically, I think probably we're going to see quite a few of these drivers come in this time around. I think Castro will be in. I think Ariel will be in. I think they'll work together. Panero,
right.
possibly. Not sure about Lynn. Walker's been really quiet, and he's the interesting one for me because he's just been casually sat there in that 96 machine, not really getting involved in these battles, and just seemed to be absorbing all of the slipstream that he can. But so this is what happened to your Marnie. Your insightful eyes caught it. Just a tap there with Renders.
Yeah.
It's almost Renders.
Yeah, I think you're right. So it's it was the Ariel, Panero, Walker, McCain.
I panicked, Charles. I'm not going to lie to you. I saw Ariel, Panero crash. Thought something happened, but noticed where they come into the pit lane, it just triggers it as a crash in our system.
It does. There's a little glitch there because of the track configuration. So Lynn, Castro, Hamilton stayed out. And I think they got to come in next lap. I think that's about it. I don't think you can go another lap, go to 33 minutes, unless you've done a lot of fuel saving. So I think it's this group and then the next group, or everybody else comes in next lap.
James Walker's jumps Panero, which I did wonder. I mean, I said about him fuel saving. He was the only person who could have gone longer than anyone. But then equally, would you want to go an extra lap more than absolutely everyone? Because that would then mean that effectively, you've got no one to draft with, so you could actually lose time because of it. Chris Thorpe heading to the pits as a lot of the field into the pit road.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, as we see Thorpe coming in there.
No, he's not actually first. He jumped to the pits, I think, and
I think
that's
you're
what's
right.
showing him first. Yeah, there we go. It's just sourcing itself out now. He's coming out 44th is where he's going to emerge. So, Castro and Lynn, all by themselves.
Yeah, I was going to go back and look at, Walker's stoppage time was almost 2 seconds less than Panero. So he's either saved a lot or there's a little bit of gamble involved, which is highly possible. I think a lot of people do that. Will try and gamble on fuel. I think we've seen Panero do it at least a couple of times, and it didn't work out for him. So yeah, there are people who do the fuel saving. Obviously, Green is kind of one of those the master of fuel savings. So he does it almost every race, and it works for him because he's always competitive and he's always up near the front. He's got the pace to go with it.
Talking of which, so Green definitely's really worked out for him. Lynn ahead of Castro, but they're battling away. Ariel and Walker have dropped Panero. And I think that's very, very crucial in terms of this battle for the lead and how this is all going to shake down and sort itself out. So there are those two. Panero is 2 seconds down the road, and they're just like you say, safety in numbers. They're going to work together at this stage of the race because, you know, Ariel's thinking about Castro. Oh, squeezing it around the outside. There goes Walker. Tactical 1x2 to keep himself alive. Castro lean into the pits. Hammered her into yet to stop. Gibson, Justice, and Scarley, but they're all behind those groups that we're just seeing on the cameras there. So into his pit comes Lynn. Out of the final turn come Ariel and Walker. They're still stationary. I think this might not have worked out for them. Lynn gets going, Castro does too. I think Ariel and Walker are going to, well, walk away with this one potentially. I think they may well slot themselves in with, oh no, they're going to slot in nicely. Panero, this is his saving grace now.
Right. Yes, for sure. Now he's got people to work with. You know, 3 normally better than 2, especially if Ariel and Walker keep battling up front. This will be 5 cars again very quickly. As we see Panero, you know, doing that, making that pass. As we see them up front, they're actually side by side, which is, I don't think, helpful. Lynn's on the inside. That's maybe not the best thing to be doing. I think you need to get that gap, but he's going to make the move, and he made it stick, so he's in 3rd. And the gap has dropped a little bit. It's about 1.7 from Walker to Lynn. So if these guys will just kind of stay in line for a little bit, we'll have a very, very classic SRF finish in short order.
Hear me out with my conspiracy theory here.
Oh, here we go.
Ariel is teammates and good friends with Castro.
Mm-hmm.
He deliberately battles and sort of slows up a bit Walker to bring him into this fight to give Castro the chance of winning because, you know, Ariel's not fighting for anything. They realistically have a bit of pride and honour. I mean, I say he's not fighting for anything. He's currently in the lead. I know that sounds a little bit contradictory. However, I think he desperately wants his good friend to win here. So I think maybe nothing malicious, but tactical, team tactics coming into play here to allow that group to catch up, to slow up the pace a little bit, knowing that, okay, if Walker gets in front of him, well,
yeah,
he's going to pull away.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he will. No, I think he's. I think you're right. I think that would be a good strategy. I don't know they're going to do that, but Ariel could just let Walker go by a second and kind of be that bridge. But now you've got Lynn and Panero also battling for the championship lead, so they're not going to go away. And so that just adds another little complexity. They obviously want to get up to the front as well, but they want to be in front when they get to the front, and that seems to be the struggle point here.
Now, to blow apart my own conspiracy theory, Charles, this group of 3 who are battling for 3rd place, the last place on the podium, haven't caught, if anything, they might have lost about half a tenth on the last lap to our top 2. So I think I've already destroyed my own conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I think it's just because they're just battling amongst themselves to be the leader of that little 3-car train.
That weave there, I'm not so sure now. Oh, I just don't know.
So Walker's obviously going to make that move. He's got the toe, so he's going to use that overspeed to get in front of Ariel. Ariel's going to get tucked behind to see if he can flip that before they get into Lacombe, which looks like that was successful.
Yeah, look at that. Loses the place, and then due to the length of the camel straight, retakes it. Castro around the outside of Lynn, and that news is going to stick. Panera still remains in 3rd. Did they catch the group in front? Well, maybe by a tenth at best, but it's not enough, is it?
No, it's not. They're going to have to stay in line at least for a lap, and just stay nose to tail, push each other in order to make that gap up. Because I know Ariel is going to not want to let Walker get away, and Walker is not going to let Ariel get away. So the longer they stay in line, if the guys in front will battle, then they've got a chance. And as meantime, we've got the group of four that look like they're doing a pretty good job of working together. McCain leading that group, just kind of staying in line and see if they can bring that gap down up to the next group.
So, I think there's been a call over the radio. Castro said to Ariel, "You know what? We're not catching you, mate. Let's go for it. Go for the win here." And I think that's what's being played out. Shout out to Alan McCain, 6th overall right now. Absolutely ripping it up ahead of Fabino, Green and Fabini in that group. Really broken up the groups behind. Not the big groups we saw fall around the pit stops. There's almost contact there. These two are pushing each other to the edge. Hopefully not beyond. Around the outside of Blanchimon. James Walker, can you make it stick? He goes off track to try and accomplish it, but he's going to get it done here. Surely into the braking zone. Ariel, no, he can't. He can't remain alongside. He's looking for the cutback, I think, though, Charles. He's opening up. Look, there we go. Like a can opener. Trying to get in that tuner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, I know for me, from my sake, if I'm battling side by side with Gustavo Ariel, I'm scared to death. I'm just saying, please don't let me hit him. Please don't let me hit him. But they're doing a great job. It's a great race, cleanly done, good passes, and good strategy as we see Ariel pulling out. I think that's smart. What he's doing is breaking the draft here, so the overspeed comes later up the straightaway.
Though, this battling has cost them a bit of time. It's cost them another temp as they go 2 wide. And behind them, do they go 3 wide? Not for now. Ariel trying to break the slipstream like we saw Walker attempting to do, but Walker's alongside. He's fully alongside into the brakes. Can he make it stick right around the outside? Behind them, they sort themselves out, and then so they do in front too.
Man, this is intense. This is really intense. And I know those guys are saying, yeah, let's get up there, let's get up there, let's get up there. But it just seems like they just can't, they can't say, okay, you lead until we get there, then we'll settle it. Everybody wants to be in the front, which, that's kind of standard racing mentality, right?
It is, Charles. It is. And, well, we've got, they're going to take white flag when they come across the line. Yes, that is for certain.
Yeah, for sure.
So, 1 lap left to go. Who gets it? It's a shootout.
It is. It's literally. I don't know. I can't even. It's going to be the person who's in second place, going to the back straight through Blanchimont. I think that's how that's going to end up.
I think it's going to be whichever of those two crosses the line first will win this.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that's a good call.
That's my insight. But who's going to get third? That could be the more intriguing one because everything on the line. 1 place on the podium, 3 cars. Castro, Panero, and Lynn. 3 stalwarts of this series. 3 of the big names per se.
Yeah, for sure. They're always up front, race in, race out. So yeah, it's I know they want to get up there. It's not working for them.
It's not, is it? White flag in the air. 1 lap left to go here from Spa-Francorchamps. Round 5 of the SRF Weekend Warriors here on Apex Racing TV. Do not go anywhere for the next 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Because this is going to be drama filled. So
that was pretty smart. Walker just kind of jumped out of the draft a little bit. He is absolutely trying to time it. He kind of learned a little bit from Gustavo on that last lap. Said, I need to time this a little better so when I make the pass, he doesn't have a chance to get back around.
Is he going to get squeezed down there? They almost rubbed door panels there, but Ariel tucks back in behind him. And that looks like Walker's going to be the head. They are. They're back down to 2. Panero on the inside. Walker ahead of Ariel. But a screech of the brakes there from Lynn. That allows Castro just to sneak on through and get to 3rd. for now, but does that one is that where he wants to be? As you said, Charles, oh, lovely little lunge there from Ariel to catch Walker completely and utterly napping into Bruxelles.
Yeah, this is, it's like I said, it's this last straightaway here going into the bus stop is going to end up deciding this, I think, and I'm hoping all 5 cars make it. That's the goal, is just have all of them make it across, and we'll celebrate the winner. But it's just, so far, it's been really clean. They've given each other plenty of room to race, but they're racing hard, no doubt.
They're not giving each other a lot of room right now, are they? As Walker, again, tries to get side by side with Ariel. Can't quite make it stick for now. The Brazilian mains in the front. Castro still leads the group behind. They remain as they were as they came into Lacombe. But as we head out, is Walker going to time this perfectly this time around? What way is Ariel going to defend? Will he go inside? Will he go outside? Well, there you go. Walker to the outside. Going to try and swoop this way round. The long way round. Can he make it stick? Can he get that 96 home to first place as they're still side by side through Blanchimont? Walker just ahead here, and Ariel just tucks back in, and a bit of damage, bit of contact onto the brakes. But Ariel's on the outside. He tries to swoop around, nearly loses the rear, collects it, but Walker's on the outside. The shot runs to the line. He's squeezed by Ariel. Who's going to get it? And they're side by side. It's going to go anyway. And 400ths of a second at the line.
400ths of a second between the 2 cars at the line. That was fantastic racing. And
all behind that, Pinheiro nicks it off Castro.
Absolutely, yeah. And, and just 3 wide across the line with Green, Tabino, McCain. Just, man, what a great race.
We're not done and dusted, though, because there's still battles aplenty going on behind here.
There
are. So Jason Perry's lost a lot of places, I can tell you just now. So there's Bradshaw across the line, winner in Masters. Yes, he is, in fact. There's Perry into the pits. That's a bit of an odd one. Salmon coming through. And he's going to pick up 4th, I believe, in class. Dantas, well done. And that's Plava, because they were caught up in that early on incident. Saw them tumble down through the field. Who else have we got that are still close and still got to complete their laps? Well, there you go. There's another 3 wide nearly across the line. This is Flavio Andalic beating Mitchell.
That's the top 35, so we've still got a few left.
45 are still on the lead lap, and that down to that position. And I can tell you, this is a cracker here as Longin, with the damage late onto the brakes. And Tyler Brackenbury says, "Do you know what? I'll have that place from you. That's easy fodder." As sneaks his way through in the 281. And for closeness, I mean, we're definitely going to get much closer than what we had for the win. But yeah, that's I think that's just done. Well, we've while we wait for everyone to come across the line, let's have a bit of a chat to some of our drivers sat waiting before we bring up some classified results. I see Gustavo Ariel sat waiting. We'll have a chat to him very, very shortly, I'm sure. But just try and relive this. I mean, I thought Walker had done this.
Yeah, he had really good run on the inside. Stayed defensive. Had a great run. Ariel, using all of his tricks in the book there, pushed him way wide. Basically trying to hold him off the track if he could. But, hats off to Walker for making that just as close as it was. Fantastic racing from start to finish by all these drivers up front.
Absolutely scintillating. No 2 ways about it. Well, I know you like talking to him, Charles. Do you want to have a chat with Jim Brewster?
Let's talk to Jim. Jim Brewster. Oh, wow, what a race, man.
That was a lot of fun. I tell you, I was racing with Adam, and I got to slow down. Those after the big sweeper, there's those set of S's that you ride the curbs on. and I rode 6 inches too much or a foot too much of the curb and got to slow down. And that's why I left those. Why I lost that group. But
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it was fun. It was like there was people around you the whole race. Every inch of the race. A lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I mean, great action from front to back. It was just big draft trains, and just people making passes 3 and 4 wide. Not really a lot of wrecks, but it was like I said, fantastic race for us to watch.
Yeah, there was one early on up in the S's where I went through, and you know how you keep your position until the next lap, and it shows you. And and a bunch of us jumped up 5 positions, and I'm immediately thinking, man, I thought I swore I saw more than 5 cars in that wreckage. Like, I was guessing it was 8.
Well,
But,
hey, yeah. So, hey, P2 in class, congratulations. Very close battle. I mean, everywhere. So,
all
congrats.
race long. Yeah. Fun. Anyway, yeah. Thanks again to you guys. Thanks to Stevie, and hi to my sister Tam. And anytime you get up on a podium of this Masters, the Masters group just keeps getting growing. People keep getting past that 55 barrier, and fast guys too. It's like, oh man, back in the days when it used to be 60, but not anymore.
All right. There you go. They lowered the speed limit for you guys. So,
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for all you guys do.
yes, sir. Thank you.
Let's have a bit of a chat to our race winner now. I can see he's got himself on mute. Hopefully he's going to take himself off this. There we go. Not sure about Gustavo, Ariel. Gustavo, just talk us through those final few laps. First off, were you trying to play a bit tactically to, shrink the gap so you could bring Dudu into that battle for the lead? Or was it just a case of you were just looking after yourselves, in the latter stages of the race?
Hello guys, can you hear me? I think Discord is a bit off for me.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and
Okay.
clear.
I think I can hear you, but a bit laggy. But anyway, was a really nice race today. Dudu sent me all the info like 15 minutes before the qualifying. So yeah, I want to do that race because despite it's a really nice track, it's a really tricky car to drive. On the qualifying, on the first laps, I struggle a bit more on the slow speed corners, on the gears and on the rear. So yeah, I managed to put a good lap on the end, on the last lap. So starting from top 5 here, it's very crucial to save fuel, to be with the top guys. And then I save a bit of more of fuel. James did the same. So yeah, we're doing the same strategy since the lap 5, I think. So in the end, I was just wondering and thinking to be only me and him, because if we put like more 2-3 drivers on the end, it will be tough to maintain the lead. So he was trying to fight me like 2-3 laps to go, and I was thinking, oh my god, I need to create that gap to P3. But at the end, I did a very good maneuver on the last corner to win the race. So yeah, it was really good to put Texaco at the top and to be here with Dudu and all the guys. It's very good. It's a very nice car to drive. Maybe it's my third race here on this league, first on the season. So yeah, I'm very happy to win the race, and yeah, very good day for me. I'm happy.
Excellent stuff. Just talk us through that last lap. It had us guessing the whole way. What were your tactics? Was it to try and just lead the whole lap, or were there certain parts where you thought I might be stronger if I dropped a second and used Slipstream to get a run on James?
Again, it's a bit laggy for me, but talking about the last lap, I think the last lap I was just trying to understand where is the best place to attack or to defend. So I was behind in the after Eau Rouge. So I was just thinking I need to dive him because I control the defense. If he's on front, he controls the defense. So I was trying to see what point I can attack to defend on Blanchimont, because outside on Blanchimont it's very difficult because you can have an off track and slow down if you go like full throttle on the outside. So yeah, I was just diving him and try to hold the position on the last corner. I think both of us struggle. He struggled more on the first on the second last corner. On the last corner, I have no traction, so I was just trying to be on his side to have a bit of the draft, the side draft. So yeah, I think that's why I win the race. If the finish line is on a bit more to the front, I was lose. So yeah, it was a nice finish, to be honest. Very, very fun.
Definitely. Well, congratulations, Gustavo. A win here today on your return to the league, and good luck. You got PES coming up and ESLR1, haven't you?
Thank you so much, and see you guys on the next opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here.
Definitely, yes, Gustavo Ariel, your winner here today. Just having a bit of a look. Have we got? Yes. Well, should we ever go with Charles? I'll let you have the honours because I always seem to steal all the interviews.
I believe if I'm reading everything correctly, Ian Gibson was the Spec 2 winner. Is that right?
That's what I'm reading as well.
Is that what you're reading as well? Ian, congrats. I believe I got you as the Spec 2 winner. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so too. Is my mic
Awesome.
working this week?
Awesome job. Talk about your race. I mean, you're up, 18 positions, finished P20 overall.
I to be fair, I think Joshua deserved the class win today. He had a very unlucky last lap. He overtook me in the pit stops, and I was following him around. Last lap, I was about a second behind him as we went up to the end of Lake Boom, and he had an unfortunate incident halfway around the lap, which meant that I could nip by him. I don't really think I deserved the win today. I think he did, but that's racing, I suppose. I just tried to keep my nose clean and tried to keep out of trouble. I was disappointed. I think I got 5x, which means that my X score for the season went from 1 to 6 in the 4 races I've done so far, which is quite annoying. But and no bonus points this week for keeping clean. But I think I just kept it between the lines, tried to keep out of trouble, dodged the wrecks when they happened, and ended up winning the class, which it came as quite a surprise.
Well, congratulations, and it's, obviously keeping the car clean is part of it. So well done to you, and we'll see you next week.
Well, I hope so. Okay. All right.
Let me let you going back to Spain on vacation again. That you're not telling us, or to work, for your band. That was right, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was right. I think the weekend of Phillip Island, 4 races I've done so far, which is quite annoying. But and no bonus points this week for keeping clean. But I think I just kept it between the lines, tried to keep out of trouble, dodged the wrecks when they happened, and ended up winning the class, which it came as quite a surprise.
Well, congratulations, and it's, obviously keeping the car clean is part of it. So well done to you, and we'll see you next week.
Well, I hope so. Okay. All right.
Let me let you going back to Spain on vacation again. That you're not telling us, or to work, for your band. That was right, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was right. I think the weekend of Phillip Island.
He wins from 5 in Spec 2. One. And then that one, obviously missed 1 week, and then it was on the second in the other week. At some point, they didn't win. So, I mean, early favourite for the championship, surely.
Absolutely.
On that bombshell, I think before my voice gets in, because I feel it getting a bit sore and getting ready to let go, we've got some. Yeah, actually, that's the point. We need to go for the results. That's qualifying.
Yep.
That's we've got qualifying results. Obviously, Castro remember started all the way back on pole.
Qualifying was close. The race was closer.
That's the best way to describe it. As Ariel, we spoke to him earlier on, taking the picture on his return to the championship. Walker, 400ths of a second behind in second in that incredible race to the line. Panero third, then Castro. 4th, Lynn, Green, Tabino, McCain, Favini, and Schwartz running at the top 10. Honourable mention, obviously Bradshaw winning